Yo, 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 what's happening? It's your man, the Gypsy, aka the Happy Hatter, aka Mr. Make You Smile, back in the building. Another show I'm doing. It's been about a week. Like I said, I've been moving. The season ended, so we got our athletic banquet coming up. So I've been preparing for that. Got to get the awards and all that. Who gonna get awards and all that? But it's a different era today. You know what I'm saying? You get participation trophies and all that type stuff. So we got to get all that type stuff ready. All right. So today, sporting the old school Kango. All right, Kango, the old school hat. I thought, like I said, I collect hats. I got a bunch of hats in there, so I try to bring out a new hat. I actually bought this one out of the plastic. Try to do a new hat every show. All right, let's hop right into it. All right, first of all, I know I'm a little late on this one, but my man Antonio Brown, I wanted to give my opinion on this. I guess he had a problem with somebody moving his stuff, threw a rock at him because he didn't pay the guy. Something happened with that. Okay, now I've seen that he put a music video out, and my question is, do you think Antonio Brown? I got two questions. Do you think Antonio Brown is in his right mind? I'm more serious about that. I'm more serious about that because I watched the Aaron Hernandez show that's on Netflix, and they said he had one of the worst cases of CTE, and he was still playing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I do remember Antonio Brown taking a vicious hit from Vontaze Burfict, linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals, and knocked him out of the game. And just doesn't seem like he's been right ever since. So, do you think he's in his right mind? Because I mean, I think with some of the moves that he's been making, I think there has to be some questions about that. And also, do you think he'll play in the NFL again? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that he probably needs some help. There have been some things that he's done that should set off red flags, and playing football is such a violent sport, even as a wide receiver. Aaron Hernandez was a tight end. They take a little more hits, but still, he had one of the worst cases of CTE. So that's my question about Antonio Brown. Do you think he'll play again, and do you think he's in his right mind? I particularly don't think he's in his right mind, like I said, and I don't think he'll play in the NFL again. All right, next thing. I might be a little bit late on this one, but that's okay. Somebody out there might not have heard about this, but the NCAA has asked Congress to help them out as far as like with the athletes getting paid. Like the NCAA don't want the athletes to get paid, so they want Congress to help them out. Okay, my opinion on that. I was a college athlete at one time years ago, and the big thing was, it was great to just like get that scholarship. The money wasn't as big as flowing into college sports now. The coaches weren't making as much. It was a lot for back then, but not like now. We got like Coach K making like $9 million, Calipari making like $8 million. The guy at Kansas, making like $7 million, a year, a season. And this is, I know it's a year-round job and all that, and it's a lot that goes on with it. But the money that the NCAA makes, which if you follow it, the NCAA makes, during March Madness alone, this is 3 weeks of basketball, close to $1 billion, if not right at $1 billion, with a B, not an M, a B. So I think that, what the college athletes go through now, because I have a daughter that's in college, and it's a year-round thing. It's like a job for these kids, and you already have the stress of school and getting good grades, and now you have to have that sort of stress of competing also for playing time, And some of these sports, they don't go to the pros, they don't have that opportunity. So I think my personal opinion is the college athletes should get a little something to help them. To relieve that stress. And then it's like you can't really get a job. And then the school really can't give you stuff. You really can't get stuff here. You really can't do this, that, the other. What I'm saying? Especially for football and basketball. They really monitor them as far as the gifts and stuff like that. So I do think the college athletes should get something. And that day is going to come. I don't know whether it come in my lifetime. I don't know whether it's going to be my kids, maybe my grandkids, or my grandkids' kids, maybe getting paid at some point. But at some point, the college athlete is going to have to get paid because it's become more of a job. It's like a year-round thing. They don't get much of a break. But we'll see how that goes. All right, next thing just recently happened. The NBA has removed marijuana from the banned substance list. Okay, my opinion on that. I got no problem with it. I got no problem with it at all. I just, some guys have to deal with, some guys do have anxiety issues. Some guys deal with pain. Some guys probably may need the marijuana to cope. Now, I'm not saying it should be for recreational use where you come to the games and you done just got off one and you're going to do this, that. No, that's not cool. But, guys that are dealing with anxiety, some guys don't like to be in front of the camera, and if it helps them deal with those type of things, then I'm all for it. So I'm not against the NBA taking marijuana off the banned substance list. I think that's a good thing because some guys do need it. Some guys need it. I didn't need it. I didn't mind the crowd. I used to love the crowd, as a matter of fact. So I didn't need it at all. But there's some guys that they can not that they get nervous, but they just don't like that attention. But they're good at this particular thing, so they might need it to cope with certain things, and the medicinal marijuana can be really helpful for a lot of different things, So it is kind of stressful. It's a job. When you get to the NBA, it's a job. So I think that the NFL is going to probably remove it as well because some of those guys need it for pain. So the medicinal marijuana, I have no problem with. Marijuana, they're going to legalize marijuana all over at some point. There are some states that already have legalized it. I think California has, Washington State has, Oregon has, and they're probably, I think Nevada also has. So there are a few states and, more states to follow. I think that also they have what they call like hemp is like marijuana. Hemp, it's called hemp, minus the THC. So it's also a relaxing thing, but it doesn't give you the high, I guess. So, but the legalization is coming. So I think the NBA is ahead of the curve there by removing it from the banned substance list. All right, the next thing. All right, Spike Lee at MSG. So I guess Spike Lee has been using the same entrance for 30 years. And this particular game, they didn't let him use his entrance and didn't tell him that they were changing their policies. All right, here's my opinion on this, okay? I'm a Spike Lee guy, Spike Lee fan. Now, for the Knicks, you got a guy that has been loyal to the Knicks for over 30 years, I guess, like he said, 30 years. When I played, I used to see Spike Lee at the games all the time. And if you go back in my shows, one of my biggest highlights was one time we were playing the Knicks. I was with the Rockets, we were playing the Knicks, so I had hit like 6 or 8 straight points. And as I'm running down the sideline, I hear Spike Lee screaming, "Who's got Brown? Who's guarding Brown?" So that's one of my highlights of my career. You know what I'm saying? So Spike Lee has been a loyal customer. And James Dolan is really taking a beating here, especially after the Charles Oakley fiasco where, you have Charles Oakley removed from MSG by security. And this is like one of the all-time great Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think of Charles Oakley, I know Charles Oakley played in Chicago and I think he played in Toronto. But when you think of Charles Oakley, you think of the Knicks. Period. You don't think of Toronto. You don't know he played for Toronto until they flash his teams or they tell you who he played for. You think of the Knicks because he was with those Knicks that were really good, giving the Bulls problems. Couldn't really get over the hump, but he was with those Knicks, Patrick Ewing Knicks. So, James Dolan, he's taking a beating for this one also because of how he treated Charles Oakley. So, Spike Lee says he's not going to come to any more games the rest of the season. He's not going to give up his seats because, you know, the Knicks got a waiting list. Somebody will buy them seats up quick. So he's going to keep his seats. But I just think that there has to be somebody to come into the Knicks organization, or James Dolan has to let somebody come into the Knicks organization. And not that he don't know what he's doing, but maybe be a little bit more hands off and just restore the public's trust, because the public, the attendance, you know, the people are the ones that get the salaries paid, because they're willing to pay for these tickets. They're willing to come see you play. So Dolan, you don't want to do it. And not that I don't think that the Spike Lee case would do that, but Dolan, you don't want to mess around and make somebody angry who the people really, really love, and they decide to start boycotting your games. You don't want to do that because you got some big salaries to pay, you know, for the Knicks. But so we'll see how that plays out. I think that was, you know, that's you know, Dolan's taking a beating for that one. But, you know, Spike, you know, just, you know, adhere to the policy, do whatever they want you to do, and just keep it moving, man. You know, it's too many problems out here now. Let's try to iron these things out. But yeah, James Dolan probably needs to be a little bit more hands off. Maybe trust somebody a little. You still got to sign all the checks and all that, but see what somebody else can do to try to bring a little bit more warmth to MSG. You know, I grew up as a kid as a Knicks fan, so you know, just try that. Last thing is a little bit of a disappointing thing in my eyes, is that, you know, not trying to stay on the Kobe situation, but, you know, the Kobe helicopter crash, I guess the deputies that got there first, they were taking photos of his body, and I guess they were recirculating the photos around within the department or whatever. So I guess the head of the deputies was, I guess, giving them some discipline. And I just think that's just, you know, that's just terrible to take photos of the man. You know, he's dead and gone. I mean, what are these photos going to do? You know, so I think that's very sad. And if I'm his wife, you know, I got a problem with that. You know, because I'm not even related to Kobe, but I knew him. But I got a problem with the deputies doing this. You know, if you can't handle that type of job, getting to that type of situation without doing something crazy like that, and it doesn't sound that big, but it is a big thing because of who Kobe Bryant was. So, you know, they're taking pictures of the body, which probably was in bad shape because it was a helicopter crash and it was, you know, I guess burning or whatever. But I just think that that's so disappointing to hear that there are people out there that are willing to do things like that, do such a thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, let the man rest in peace. He had a beautiful going away ceremony. They had a private funeral for him. But I really couldn't watch it. I watched a little bit of it, but I really couldn't, you know, continue to watch it. I just had to, you know, I just wanted to let him rest. You know what I'm saying? Because it was already an unfortunate situation. You know, I hate to end on that note, but that's the note I'm ending on. So I'm going to try, like I said, I'm going to try to, you know, get these joints in once a week because I really enjoy doing it. But yeah, it's your man, the Gypsy, AKA the Happy Hatter, AKA Mr. Make You Smile, coming back at you again. So I'm signing off. So like I said, I'll try to do one every other day if I can. But I've been away for a week. I'm going to try to tighten it up a little bit since basketball season is over. But stay cool. Thank you for watching. And yo, remember, always be nice to people, man. Always be nice because you never know when you might see them again or you might not see them again. All right? So take care. I'm out. Peace.